Hello! Thank you guys for coming to this video today. I really appreciate it. We're going to be going over a lot of cool stuff. Most importantly, Happy New Year's. I'm uploading this on the day before we enter 2021, and man, I hope it's better than 2020. I know a lot of people had a rough year, but I'm sure some people had a good year, especially people that hold cryptocurrency. They might be doing a little better today than they did in March. But either way, I wish you guys all the best for the end of this year and next year. I hope great things come to you. And I just want to also say thank you guys for the support on this channel. This year alone, we went from probably like 400 subs to 5,000, and Bloom was created. Shelly came out. Just so much. Voltaire's happening right now. So much has happened this year, and I just wanted to take a second and say thank you guys so much for all the support on this channel. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope my videos do provide value. And if they do, you guys show the support, so I really appreciate it. If they keep providing value, then just keep showing support as you have been, and they'll keep coming. So I really appreciate it, and I wish you guys happy holidays. I hope you have a lot of fun tonight. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you have a great next year. But we're going to be going over a lot of cool stuff today. We're going to be going over, could the SEC affect Cardano? Is the Ripple news kind of bad for Cardano? What's the details behind that? We're going to be going over that. We're going to be talking about decentralization based on the internet service provider. A lot of cool stuff. But if you guys want to support me, the best way you can do so is click a like on this video, click that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Even just a thumbs up supports this video, and it also helps pump your Cardano bags, right? Because you got to realize we don't have much marketing for Cardano. So when you like this video, when you comment down below, when you click that notification bell, it pushes my videos out to new people. And when the new people see my passion, I'm telling you, they get into Cardano. I get messages about it every single day. Also, if you got the other way to support me is delegate to Bloom. We have Bloom through Bloom 6. We pledge over 10 million ADA to the network to secure the network from Sybil attacks. We also minted the 8th block on Cardano, and we've been here since the beginning, and we'll be here till year end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. So we're just going to jump right into the mix of it, but before we do so, if you guys want to join a Cardano community on Discord, the link will be down below. I just have a little community over there for anything in Cardano, not even if you're just a delegate of Bloom. We just try to help everybody out. We try to answer people's questions. We just try to have good discussions, and you can even talk about other cryptocurrencies in there. I'm just trying to build a nice little community, but obviously it's ADA centered because that's kind of what a lot of us are here for. So just make sure you click that link down below. We're kind of building something awesome there, so I hope you guys come. But so the first thing I wanted to say is for you guys to really understand this stuff more and more, I would watch 3 videos from Charles Hoskinson right here. It's the first one's Ripple lawsuit, more on Ripple, and then most importantly, even more on Ripple. I didn't like the titling, it confused me. But the even more on Ripple, he talks more about the summary that came out later on. So he goes over exactly what the SEC is actually charging Ripple for, and I think the final one is definitely the best video to watch. So if you want more information on it, please watch that video. Another good video to watch that I think you guys will like is Government's Thoughts for 2021. It's another awesome video. But the first thing I want to talk about with the SEC is there's this good post on Reddit, and it's from user RL Goer. So I really appreciate this. There's just a couple key points in here from that summary what we talked about earlier that Charles went over. This is on page 2. So over a years-long period, unregistered offering of securities, Ripple was able to raise at least $1.38 billion by selling XRP without providing the type of financial and managerial information typically provided in registration statements and subsequent period and current filings. Ripple used this money to fund its operations without disclosing how it was doing so, or full extent of its payments to others to assist in its efforts to develop a use for XRP and maintain XRP secondary trading markets. So that's very important. They were able to raise $1.38 billion by selling the XRP tokens, right? And you also have to keep in mind that they're equity financed, right? So they could be using smart money, money from investors, like in Silicon Valley, VC capitalists, people that fund these big companies, but instead they went to retail investors and sold these tokens before the actual ecosystem was self-sufficient, right? And that's the issue. There's a big issue there, and we're going to be tying this all into ADA in a second. So this is really important right here. Meanwhile, Larson, Ripple's CEO and current chairman of the board, Garlinghouse, Ripple's current CEO, orchestrated these unlawful sales and personally profited by approximately $600 million from unregistered sales of XRP. So this is the big kicker right here. As we were talking about earlier, not only did they sell $1.3 billion of XRP without the ecosystem really being self-sustaining, right? It's not as if XRP was fully decentralized. This company wasn't needed anymore. And they're finally like, okay, we've done it. We've provided a good ecosystem. We're going to start selling some of our shares, right? We're going to divest. Instead, what they did is they divested $1.3 billion by selling XRP before the ecosystem was self-sufficient. And not only that, I think it was, I got their names written down right here. Yeah, so 1.3 billion divested, and then they profited alone, the CEO, $600 million for unregistered sales of XRP. That's the issue here. And this case is kind of bigger than it lets on, right? Because this is kind of going to be a precedent case from the SEC. And I think that's why they're kind of putting all their eggs in one basket on this. Because if you look at it, you can clearly see some bad intentions from the Ripple CEO, right? You can see some bad intentions, some bad practices. Clearly some dirty stuff was done here. Personally giving yourself $600 million from selling unregistered securities to retail investors. And then when you could have just had venture capitalist funds, smart money the whole time, the SEC they see a big issue with that, right? So what they're trying to do is say XRP is a security, and this is going to be a precedent case that they could then use for other cryptocurrencies in the future, right? So it is a bit spooky here. So we're going to reach page 6 through 7 here. The definition of a security under the Securities Act includes a wide range of investment vehicles, including investment contracts. Investment contracts are instruments through which a person invests money in a common enterprise and reasonably expects profits or returns derived from the entrepreneurial or managerial efforts of others. So, I mean, that kind of just meets all cryptocurrencies, right? There's really no contract, but people that invest in cryptocurrency usually expect profits or returns derived from the entrepreneurial managerial efforts of others. It's a sticky thing, right? Because when you rely on one company, then you kind of expect that. So it's tricky. A lot of this stuff is really tricky. So then there's also a little bit of market manipulation thrown in here. It doesn't say that specifically, but that's kind of the vibe that I get from it. So in 2013, and this is kind of when you could classify Ripple as a security in the early years, whereas right now it's a little harder to say that. And it's not like I wish any ill will on Ripple. I hope that they win this suit. It'd be a good precedent for cryptocurrency, and I feel like it adds a bit of security for everyone. But that's why, like I said earlier, they're really banking on this one because of some of the malpractice, right? So in 2013, Ripple was working on multiple avenues starting in at least 2015. However, Ripple decided that would seek to make XRP a universal digital asset for banks and other financial institutions to effect money transfers. According to Ripple's plans to create acceptance for the universal digital asset, Ripple had first create an active liquid XRP secondary trading market. Ripple's objectives and its own financial reality thus compelled it to actively seek and offer and sell XRP as widely as possible, which they did, right? They've even paid some exchanges to list the coin, while controlling supply and demand in the resale market to manage and control liquidity for an unimagined or future use case. So this is kind of where they're starting to step on the market manipulating lines, right? Which is, again, very tricky and dirty, right? This is kind of where it's like, this is why it's not good. Defendants' offers and sales of XRP and the offering occurred in a market that they had largely created, right? So they're stating that the market was manipulated. They essentially created the market and the demand in which, consistent with their dual purposes of raising funds from their XRP sales and managing the liquidity of the XRP market, they played a significant role overseeing, right? Another big issue there. And I know this stuff's a little boring. I'm almost done with this, and then we're going to tie it into ADA, but I think it's really important to kind of get the bigger picture here. If you want an even bigger picture, like I said, watch those Charles videos. At all relevant times during the offering, XRP was an investment contract and therefore a security subject to registration requirements of federal security laws. Defendants understood and acknowledged in non-public communications that the principal reason for anyone to buy XRP was to speculate on it as an investment. So, right, this is where they're actually calling it a security. This is why you're seeing XRP would be removed from Coinbase, removed from Binance now, removed from Crypto.com, pretty much all major exchanges. I mean, that's pretty big. If you I mean, you guys have seen the Coinbase pumps, now you've seen the Coinbase dump. Same with Binance and these other cryptocurrencies or these other exchanges removing them. So from the outset of the offering, defendants publicly promised significant, meaningful entrepreneurial efforts with respect to XRP, which they did. I don't deny that. Investors, and so this is kind of the question here. Was the sole purpose of buying XRP to speculate on it as an investment? I would say yeah, right? I would say yeah, especially in the beginning. And I don't think so for Cardano, right? I don't just buy ADA to speculate on it as an investment. I'm sure many people do, right? But it's in a protocol, and that's why this case is so important. Investors who purchased XRP in the offering invested into a common enterprise with the other XRP purchasers, as well with Ripple. So they're saying they essentially purchased XRP to invest in an enterprise that would then raise the value of the token, right? So that's kind of more security callouts. Ripple and its executives repeatedly and publicly disclaimed that XRP was a currency and tried to dissuade investors from thinking about XRP as a currency. So I'm interested in evidence on that. And keep in mind, this is from the SEC, right? This is not the counter, because XRP is obviously going to submit a counter to all of these claims, right? So I'm just reading you what the SEC is stating. And then commissions respectively request that the court enter a final permanently enjoining defendants from delivering XRP to any persons or taking any other steps to effect an unregistered offer or sale of XRP, to disgorge all ill-gotten gains obtained within the statute of limitations, prohibiting defendants from participating in any offering of digital asset securities, ordering defendants to pay civil money penalties. So that's big right there, right? They're essentially saying that the final judgment needs to permanently stop them from delivering or selling XRP or selling the unregistered offer or sale of it, and then to disgorge all ill-gotten gains. I mean, that's pretty huge, right? So next, we're going to be talking about kind of the initial coin offering of ADA and how this really relates to XRP, and then also if we should be worried as ADA investors or people that believe in the Cardano protocol, right? All right, so this is going to get a little fun after this, I promise. It's not going to be all sad, boring SEC documents. So we're going to be reading an article back from 2017, and this is a little bit before the nostalgia starts, I promise. So last week, blockchain development firm IOHK, led by Charles Hoskinson, launched Cardano, a new blockchain. And yesterday, ADA, the platform's native currency, began trading on the U.S.-regulated exchange Bittrex. The 10,000 ADA vouchers who participated in the early crowd sale can now download the Cardano wallet dataless and use that to redeem their ADA tokens and begin trading. Westerners, and this is big right here, who were omitted from the crowd sale, right? Anyone in the West could not be a part of this because it was mainly focused in Japan. And they now have a chance to purchase the tokens via Bittrex, right? And those are obviously going to be tokens from people that were part of the ICO and would like to sell. If all goes according to IOHK's plans, these events will mark the beginning of a 2-year process, which is funny to hear, a 2-year process, that will see Cardano evolve into a full-fledged smart contract platform with an impressive library of protocols that developers can use to build their decentralized apps. Not 2 years, we're looking at like 3 to 4 right now. How it all began. Hoskinson was the early founder of Ethereum. He left the project and eventually went to form IOHK with colleague Jeremy Wood. The following year, and I always wonder what happened to Jeremy Wood. The following year, IOHK is approached by a group of Japanese business people. I don't know, something about business people. Interested in creating a blockchain that would function as a cryptocurrency and a smart contract platform while meeting the needs for an increasing regulatory oversight in the block space. To raise funds for the development, the group wanted to do an initial coin offering focused on Asian markets. They said it would be really nice to do a large-scale distribution in Asia as opposed to the Western world, which is already saturated with cryptocurrencies, Hoskinson said in an interview with Bitcoin magazine. So the group hired IOHK to build a software to assist with the compliance during the sale. The Japanese company Attain, and we're going to be going over a little bit more about Attain in a second, was enlisted to coordinate the sale, and another entity, the Cardano Foundation, which we've all heard of, handled oversight and auditing. Meanwhile, the crowd sale, which ran from 2015 to 2017, raised $62 million and resulted in the sale of roughly 30 billion ADA vouchers, only 45 billion to ever be in circulation, which we all know. Because none of the vouchers were sold to U.S. citizens, the sale did not fall under the umbrella of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission rules. There was some regulatory advantage to offshoring it, said Hoskinson, and there were also some cultural advantage. Mainly, we had a blue sky and a wide open market. The Japanese group, which has come to be called Emergo, also hired IOHK to build Cardano under a 5-year contract that will end in 2020, which is now progressing to 2021. Emergo will become Cardano what Consensus is to Ethereum, a studio for designing smart contracts and decentralized apps that will continue to run on the platform. So very important. What we just read is essentially they focus specifically on Asian markets to, one, be able to sell to a wide open market that was new to cryptocurrencies, and another thing, to follow the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission rules. Another thing I want to point out is the amount of money they raised, right? $62 million versus what we mentioned earlier. They divested, not IOHK obviously, but the Ripple divested $1.3 billion of the currency, right, onto retail investors, right? Whereas here there is a initial coin offering that was done in different countries following those guidelines, specifically following the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission rules, right? Very important difference there. Whereas with Ripple, much earlier on, was selling to retail investors, right? So we're going to be going into more. The fun stuff's coming soon, I promise. So to answer the question, to answer the clickbait title, right? I know it's not clickbait. I know people have been asking me about this every day. I've been having people even message me and say, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Like I'm an SEC guy, you know, like I can read between the lines and kind of make my opinion about it. So, is there a direct impact on ADA right now? Is there a more inherent risk than there was prior? I would say no. Right? Maybe a couple years down the, because this is going to take a long time to actually litigate, right? So depending on how that's litigated, I would say that if it is deemed as a security, then there's going to be an issue. But I wouldn't say the risk is any higher than it already was. I mean, we all knew the risk coming into this, right? We knew that proof of stake is kind of still in a gray area right now. It's taxed all hell. The government doesn't like it. So we've already had this government risk, this regulatory risk attached to cryptocurrency, right? But looking at the way the ICO was done in Japan, looking at the amount of money they raised, and also another big question is, did they sell ADA to retail investors and then for their own profit, or did they sell ADA to retail investors to keep putting more value into the protocol, right? That's a key question, right? Because I don't know if IOG has sold ADA, right? When they delegated all of it, they had $3 billion, right? So I mean that would say no, but you never know if they sold. And I'm not spreading FUD. This is literally just pure speculation. You never know if they sold, say, at 90 something cents, and then bought some on the way back down, right? To then use that money to fund the project, right? Because that doesn't seem dirty to me to sell when the value of it's overpriced, and then take that value from the market that you didn't manipulate and then to put it back in the currency, right? I mean, do you think the Cardano Foundation has sold some of their ADA to pay, the board members or some of the community members that work there? Or what about Emergo? Do you think they've sold some ADA to maybe fund the development of Yoroi that wasn't originally included in the contract, right? You never know, right? But based on the way the ICO was done, and then also the totality of the money, I would say Cardano isn't at a higher inherent risk than it was prior to this, right? It's really, I think the risk for Cardano is not greater than any other proof of stake cryptocurrency, but I do see in the future there being some sort of proof of stake battle, right, over kind of the precedent that's going to be set on how proof of stake is treated, right? Because when you hold a token in the protocol and the token is a vote, and then also you get paid kind of a dividend from the protocol, I mean, that gets financial minded people, especially people in the old world, the old money, thinking that it's some sort of security in the company that pays you a dividend, So do I think the risk is increased? No. But at the same time, you guys have seen how much the value of Ripple's gone down, right? So not financial advice, but where's that money heading, right? It might be heading to Bitcoin, it might be heading into Ethereum, it might be heading into USDC until they find another currency that they believe in. or some of them could have been burnt, you know. But I think a lot of those smart people that were part of Ripple, I wish them the best of luck. I wish them the best of luck with this suit. But I think a lot of that money is going to flow into ADA. Just pure speculation. I think some of it already has, but it's going to be over time, you know. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. This is kind of like my little SEC thing. We got some really cool stuff coming after this. I'm going to show you a little bit of the, we talked about this one company that kind of sold the ICO. We're going to be looking at the advertisement video. I don't speak Japanese. It's in Japanese, but it's really cool. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick. But let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested in your opinion. Also, if you want to have a longer form discussion, feel free to come to the Discord. But let's switch over to both and let's take a look at this video. Let me make sure you guys got some audio. Okay, cool. So this, it's on Facebook, which I don't even like having Facebook on my computer. Hold on.
スマートフォンやタブレット、PC などの普及で急激な発展を遂げています。
So let me see if I can get. Okay, so this was from the company, and I think it's a lane. And okay, I don't want to say stuff because it's a little bit of speculation, but this video was used to sell ADA, and it's really interesting. So in the first, they start talking about gaming markets.
2015年には 2.4 兆円と5年でおよそ2倍の規模となっており、今後もさらに拡大していくことが予想されます。
All right, there. I turned that down so you guys can hear me better. But all right, let's so they do like usual, and it's so funny seeing how they market stuff to the Japanese market. It's pretty, I don't know, it's interesting to me. It's so different than how you would market to, say, Americans or people of the Western world, right? So they kind of just talk about like internet stuff. They do a little bit of like gambling stuff, which I don't really, it's online game market user. They talk about the developer. But look, eventually, this is when they introduce Cardano. Look, sparkling light. And then, hold on. Yeah, so then you finally get the logo. And then they introduce input output. BitShares, Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson. So look, we got Cardano, and then we got, look, PIC P2P or peer-to-peer. I know that word. And then look, user, developer, Cardano in the middle. Look, we got some more gambling stuff, casino. And then look, we got, so three, we got like the United States over here. And then we got Japan. And then I think the other one was Hong Kong. And then, okay, let me keep scrolling. Okay, I like this right here, the ADA token. Look, 100 ADA, it's a chip. And then we got a little bit of a Bitcoin. They're showing the Bitcoin chart to get people like, hey, you could make some money. Have you seen that Bitcoin thing? You could make some money. Yeah, look, some more of the token. But listen to the music in the background. I don't know, it's just so, it's so enticing. I wish we got investment videos like this. Cardano! I bet if I had to guess, those are probably the three pillars of Cardano. Maybe the Cardano Foundation, Emergo, and IOHK. I'm not sure. And then Cardano.io, the website. So let's see. Let's scroll down and see when this was posted. This was posted October 14th at 3:24 a.m. 2015. 2015. Throwback. 2020 end year throwback. What do you guys think of that? I thought it was pretty cool. I actually saw that on Reddit, so I thought you guys would thought you would like that real quick. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to talk about. I know I'm going a little off the cuff. I'm just trying to have a fun video. We haven't been posting much lately. Catching up. I got to get my skill back. Okay, so I thought this was really interesting, right? So how decentralized is Cardano's network today by infrastructure provider? So, okay, a couple prefixes. Keep in mind, Cardano Shelley just came out, I would say 5 months ago, right? So about 5 months. And this is stake pools by service hosting provider. I'm not spreading FUD. This isn't a terrible, terrible thing. This can obviously be changed. If there's a big push for people to move off certain providers, then it'll happen. It's not the worst thing in the world. We're only a little bit. So this is data gathered from 105 Cardano relays. So by hosting provider, they mean companies like Amazon that provide servers that the stake pools run on, right? Or DigitalOcean or Google or Microsoft or Hetzner. Just big providers. I've seen some ones in here like I've heard of before, like Linode, OVH. And so they're essentially saying that decentralization based on the provider that people are using for their stake pool, right? So you have 20% on DigitalOcean, 15% on Amazon, and 13% on Google, which I wouldn't say is a terrible thing, but it's not a good thing, especially the big amount on these. And keep in mind, this is just the relay, right? So when people say, oh, Cardano is not decentralized because of the relays, well, people that use stake pools at home will still use relays on a provider. So the way this works is, let's say you have a Bloom stake pool right here. Well, this Bloom stake pool, because I don't want you to have the IP address so we can keep minting blocks so you guys don't take it down, we hide the Bloom IP address by 2 relays on a cloud service provider, right? So the relays, you can't run them at the same place as the block producer because that exposes the IP. So what people that do that run at home, let's say you have a bare metal setup at home, they pay a service provider for the relays to hide their home IP address. So this isn't a direct saying, oh, Cardano is bad, it's not decentralized, all these service providers, because it's being done on the relays because the IP addresses are actually being hidden on the regular nodes, right? So does that make sense? And also, there's one thing to keep in mind for bare metal servers. The way the internet works right now, the way we all rely on somebody. We all rely on some centralized entity because let's say you had a bare metal server set up at your house. Well, who are you relying on in the United States? Spectrum, ATT. So even if you get past like the bare metal, if you get a bare metal server, you still have to use a hosting provider, and that hosting provider is your internet service provider, right? So Spectrum, whoever, ATT. Right. So this doesn't mean the world's going to end. I keep seeing people posting this everywhere like the world's going to end. This is done on the relays, right? Is it a bad thing for so many pools to rely on a couple service providers? Yes. But in the current state of the internet, centralization's a big thing, right? I mean, this is something that we're going to have to work on over time, I think. But a couple centralized entities run the majority of the internet right now. So, I mean, this doesn't surprise me, so to speak, right? So let me know what you guys think about this down below. Another thing I thought was pretty cool, I want to pull this up at the very end of the video. Let me know what you guys think of me just going off the cuff, not cutting it, just jumping. Let me know if you'd like that. So this is kind of just a map of the relays of Cardano, which I thought was pretty cool. So you got a lot around here. And look, you got some in North America. Got some in South America down here. You got some in South Africa down here. Got some in Europe. What if I just like messed it up? So you got some in Australia. What if I was like, you got some in Asia up here? Some Asian relays? Man, this dude is so not cultured. But I just thought this was a pretty cool little map, seeing how it was all kind of diversified around the world. I can't wait to see what this looks like a year from now. It's going to be really cool. But that was this week's Cardano Recap. I hope you guys all have a beautiful New Year's tonight. I hope you have fun. Hope you're safe. I hope you enjoyed this year. Look at the silver lining in it. There's some great things happening. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video are looking at the silver lining of this year because of cryptocurrency, because we've kind of been vindicated in the past couple months, but still got a fight ahead. 2021 is going to be the year of Cardano. We're going for number 1. Voltaire vote ends in January 4th, the first ever vote on the Cardano blockchain or the Cardano protocol. It's a beautiful thing. If you guys made it to the end of the video, please type down below, it's a beautiful thing. Or we're going for number 1. Either one that you like. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like on this. Comment down below. Also, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsor of this video, Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace is actually a delegate of Bloom. They get paid such kick-ass returns that they actually reached out and sponsored the weekly recaps. just as a thank you. They say, man, I love Bloom. I love what you're doing. And I love the rewards. So I sponsor these weekly recaps. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Ada Lovelace, for the sponsor on this video. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Like I said, have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.